Hello, this is Jen with Aging Advantage. So, Aging Advantage is a non for profit organization that supports seniors and disabled adults in the greater St. Louis area. Through local grants and donations, we offer programs to help with the effects of post pandemic situations like housing, food insecurity, isolation issues, and just self care issues, etc. in general. So, through this partnership, we are just thrilled to be able to provide educational topics that can really help clients and their families to promote self care and resilience. And today I'm so excited to introduce you guys to our friend, Miss Angela Davis. She is going to share a little bit with us about the invention that she created called Easy Pants. And I'm just excited for you guys to hear her story and just to hear her heart and for her to share kind of where this idea came from, as a solution for one of her own family members that she created. And again, just such a brilliant mind, but incredible resource for us to be able to, offer essentially to clients to be able to help them age in place a little bit better, and just also to be able to provide easier toileting and just all the things. So anyways, yeah, I'm excited for you guys to be able to learn from Angela today. And yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jen, for inviting me, and thank you to your audience who will take time to listen to the information that I am going to share about our Easy Pants for Incontinence. So we created Easy Pants with caring, with dignity, and with safety in mind. And it's a practical piece of clothing that was designed for a real caregiving experience. And that real caregiving experience was my own. So why Easy Pants? When creating this, we wanted something that would matter to the seniors and to those who may be living with some type of um, independence but have incontinence, or maybe someone who is suffering with something and need a little bit of dignity and safety along the way. So care is a physical and demanding process. We are talking about daily dressing, toileting, incontinence care, the lifting and repositioning, and the repeated movements that all of us go through, not only the caregiver, but the individual that you're caring for. And so dignity can be compromised when we're working with an individual, and we want them to know that they can feel that they have privacy and respect, and not exposing them as though they don't matter. And the families need additional tools. They need practical tools. They need ways that they can come up with a workflow process and reduce that strain, but also help the team that is in the home or in the facility and taking care of their loved ones. So Easy Pants was created to make life easier for everyone. Now, I won't be reading my slides, but I will refer to the slides as I go through. So again, I'm Angie Davis. I have over 30 years of experience in the higher education arena. I've served on various boards, federal, state, and local and national boards, along with working with the Department of Higher Education. I'm a wife of 46 years, a mother of 3 married grown children, and I have 10 perfect grandchildren. So I'm a grandmother as well. But I'm also a former caregiver of my father, not only my father, but my mother. But with my dad, I worked with him 15 years, and we had to come up with some type of a solution to help him in the condition that he was in. And so that's where Easy Pants was actually born. He would cut up all of his pants in the exact same way, in the same process. So I saw the pattern of what he was doing. He would cut in down the legs, both legs, in the center of his pants, and down the side seams. So I made a pattern. I submitted that information to someone who could actually sew, because I cannot. She made a pattern for me. I submitted that information to the USPTO, and my dad actually wore our sample pants for a year before he passed away in 2023. I have to tell you that this was a 6 year long journey with the USPTO. I finally did receive my patent, but not without a fight because these pants are one of a kind and they could not find anything that compared to what I was trying to get my patent on. So the problems that I saw on a routine daily basis with my dad was that there were a lot of risk points. When you're fully clothed and you have a routine and you have to take those clothes off to help a person, whether they're suffering with incontinence or they just can't get around well, it's time consuming. You have a routine, you have to change and dress and reposition that person over and over again. And it slows down the process and it is frustrating. It's a physical strain on the caregiver who has to do this repeatedly every day. And I was my dad's caregiver along with we had other caregivers in the home that came and helped him and other family members. But my dad was a fall risk. So the more we would stand and shift and transfer him, the more of an opportunity it was for not only him to fall, but for me to fall as I am getting older as well. As he was losing that dignity of being able to take care of himself and go into the bathroom, we had to come up with a way that would be more comfortable for him while we were taking care of him. And the goal was not to take care of him faster, but to provide better care for him. So the solution that we came up with was Easy Pants. I received my patent in 2025 after 6 long years, but the pants open for my dad side to side. He had limited mobility, so the clothing was something that was not out there. And with full access of removing these garments, you had other issues. So with the side to side and front opening, we didn't necessarily have to reposition him or move him out of his bed or chair. The pants are designed for limited mobility, and the pants can be worn with pads or disposable briefs. So they will absorb the urine. So you have to wear some type of a protection under the pants, but it allows that person to be able to go out in public and look really nice in a pair of pants. And no one would know that they were special pants. How are they used? Well, they're used with a side-to-side release. You can care for that person again without removing them. It reduces the stress of fully undressing a person. It provides less lifting and repositioning because as we lifted my dad, he would always complain about the position that we put him back in. He would say he wasn't comfortable. It is a faster, calmer routine, and it provides privacy and respect for him. You would use these pants with an internal, external catheter. You can use a male or female urinal bottle. It can be used with the Purec for men or women because each side of the pants are open so that the cord from the tubing can go into a bottle on the side, or it can be strapped to their legs. There is no inseam in the pants, and so it allows for a better way for a person to be able to have privacy without someone else knowing that they have a depend or a pad on. And incontinence is really a reality. The incontinence is a reality for millions and millions of people. It's common and it's handled very quietly. It's widespread. It does increase with age, but it's age and illness, not just age. And it's not usually openly discussed. So, with millions and millions of people being affected, the majority of people affected are women, which really surprised me. It was, more women who suffer with this than men. A lot of the men who suffer with incontinence, it's because of prostate issues. So age plus illness is what's causing the increase of the incontinence. It's often silent because of the dignity, and it's personal. And the daily care that's required for this is not always supported. So the clothing worn can either make it easier or harder for an individual to take care of themselves while, meeting that dignity need. Who benefits? A lot of people can benefit. It's one new product that is now on the market that are pants, and they are considered durable medical equipment through the federal government. So that's a positive in terms of the pants. It supports the family and the caregiving team at the same time. So if a person is in an independent living, it provides them comfort and privacy and the respect that they want living independently but in a community. For our loved ones, it gives them peace of mind and confidence in a daily care. And when a person is living alone, a lot of times, the family member has someone who's supposed to come and take care of them. And a lot of times the caregiver, they can't show up. It starts to snow. You get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning or at the time they're supposed to be there saying they can't come. So what do you do now? Because that person still has to get to the bathroom so that they're not sitting in soiled diapers and getting UTIs. So the pants help. It helps the caregiver with less strain, lower stress, and it saves her time. I can remember taking my dad, getting him up on the lift to stand, taking him into the bathroom, and he's telling me to hurry up, and I can't. So by the time we get to the bathroom, now I have to re-shower him. I have to clean the carpet, re-clean the bathroom, and wash all of his clothes. It's an option that helps everybody. So for the nurses and the care team, if you're at a rehab appointment or at a doctor's office and a person that is not able to get up and get around quickly because of incontinence, now they're 15, 20 minutes late getting back into the doctor's office to be seen. And now the doctor's behind on his appointments. And sometimes the caller ride has to be recalled because everybody is shifted. The facilities are out there to help, but you have one caregiver to maybe one CNA to maybe 10 or 15 people in a facility that are calling at the same time for the same need. I need to get into the bathroom. So this is an option for facilities that care for people that suffer with incontinence. And the more they sit, the more they won't be able to get up. We want them to be able to stand and move, but if they're in a position where they can't, we have this as an optional solution. So what matters most is that it makes it easier for the individual to continue to feel like they're important and that they're human. The dignity protects that person, and it's not just the task, but the safety that the person has. It reduces any unnecessary movement. It's comfort that they have from the daily routine disruptions that they have every day. And it gives peace of mind to the families who actually need that. My dad was a hard worker. He always had 4 or 5 businesses that he was doing at the same time. And for him to go from being a strong individual to someone who has to be cared for, especially by his daughter, they have some emotions behind that until they get used to being taken care of. He would say most of the time, my son should be doing this. And I would tell him, but I'm here, so I have to do it. And we had to switch some roles, through that process. When they start to change or whatever the case may be, you have to take control over whatever that situation is to not only make it easier for them, but to make it easier for you who is the caregiver. So next steps, I would say that we have a dignified approach to incontinence care. It's an effort for people to be able to dress themselves or to get dressed. This is an easier way. They can wear a pad or a disposable brief under the pants. You can see it standing on the first picture. The second, if a person can stand, they can pull the pants from side to side. The third picture is a female. That's how they look when you're seated. So if you have a shirt outside, you would not know that these pants are especially designed for someone. And to open them out from the front, you will see that. I will demonstrate the pants in a few minutes, but these are unisex pants. They only come in black. They're small, medium, medium, large, large, extra large, and they're men and women. They're black only. And the reason why is because if there's an accident or they're out in public, you don't want them to be exposed that they had an accident. The polyester blend, cotton and rayon is what the fabric is. It's a great fabric. And the pants are made in the USA. I have a manufacturer that have already created the pants for me. As a matter of fact, I had the pants made before my patent was approved because no matter what, I was going to find a way to help those who needed help. So we created these pants with and the design with love. I was taking care of my dad. It supports the family, the caregiver, the residents, the care teams, and anyone helping someone to maintain and keep the respect that they deserve. Here is my contact information. I would love for you to contact me directly if you have any questions. This is my phone number. I have a website out there and an email address, and this is the Facebook address. I'm not sure if you can go to Facebook and then put Easy Pants in and find me, but if not, this is a way that you can find me on Facebook. Now, at this point, I will stop sharing my slides and go ahead and demo the pants for you. Dr. Jen, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Yep,
Perfect.
I can see you again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to demo the pants. I have them on a mannequin. Can you see that okay?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So I had to cheat and put a color behind. Usually when I'm out doing vendor fairs, you can see the black on black, but I have a color under here where you can see the pants and how they move. They go down from the front as the picture shows. If the person is seated or in a bed, and this is how they're just tied back up, and you can fan it over from one side to the other side as an option. You tie them tighter than what I have here. I just pulled them for demonstration purposes. So you will tie them up, you can stand, or whatever the case may be. If you would like to use a manual bottle, you can do that as well. They have the female bottle, and they can be used by pulling them all the way down, or you can have the male bottle, which looks like this, and they can be used with the male bottle as well. The pants, even though they're in 3 different sizes, they expand out really wide. So this is a pair of small pants, but as you can see, the back of the pants, when you're opening them, they open out really, really wide. I'm definitely not a small, but I can wear the small, medium pants. If I needed to put them on for you, they would fit. So the expansion of the pants is where we focused. There is no inseam in the middle, and the sides, there are no seams in the side. They go down to a point. So I wanted you to be able to see the pants and how they actually work. So that's my presentation, and I would love to answer any questions that you have about the pants or any questions or concerns that any of the audience might have.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you. Yeah, so much. That was awesome.
Thank
And
you.
it's so helpful to see, yeah, like the visual of how they work. Okay, so question before we get to the questions that we're getting. Do they taper at the bottom, or what does the bottom of them look like? Because, for some people, depending on what shoes they wear, etc., how does that go?
Here's
Okay.
the bottom.
Okay.
And for those individuals who may be, say someone is 4 foot tall, they can actually put a band around the pants and pull them up. So they
Oh,
can
yeah.
use a hair tie band, a rubber band, and put them on and pull the pants up so that they are shorter. The pants, actually, the model of the pants that you'll see on the website is 6 foot 3 inches tall, and
Oof.
they fit him perfectly. But I put the pants on, and the female in there is about 5'4", and they fit her as
Mm,
well, maybe 5'5".
okay.
So the pants adjust according to the string, and then if they're too long, you can adjust them with a band.
Okay, that's cool. Yes, as a doctor myself, I am a fan of the drawstring waist because then it's like you're not a size. You have no idea what size you actually are. It's just like you just pull them tight and there you are. So that's a good
Exactly.
idea design wise, and especially too because as people as people age also they gain weight, they lose weight, all the things, and so that's an awesome design feature I think that you made because it allows you to be able to keep the same pants, and have that
Right.
flexibility for the pants to be able to grow or shrink or whatever with the client. So that's cool.
Exactly.
Great
I
deal.
have been asked about hooks, buttons, zippers, and all of that. With the experience I had with my dad, when someone has to go to the bathroom, they do not have time to unbutton. They need to
Yes.
go. And that drawstring pulls it away from the body with urgency, and they can relieve themselves. As opposed, I haven't patented for all those options, but the drawstring is what I've had them made with.
Yeah. No, that's genius. I absolutely love that part.
Well, I haven't been
Um,
called that before. I have to make a note.
Fabulous and genius and all the things. Love it. Yeah, love your brain, love you, love all the things. Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
yeah, amazing. When somebody goes to order, and I know you can, show us this later, maybe like, the website or like how that goes, like from an ordering process standpoint. Um, does it have like inseam, like does it have like the length or, different things like that? So like for example, I'm a little short stack, at all of 5'2" right here. But for somebody who would be like, let's say, like, let's pretend in a different land, in a different world, not this lifetime, but I, am like a female, but I'm like 6'2" or something. Just
Mhm.
so that I would know, okay, I need to order, I need the long ones so they're not like capris. Do I, and I would maybe need to then to order like the men's medium or something for it to like accommodate the length or something like that. Have you accounted for that in the ordering
It's
process?
on the website. And what's interesting that you ask is that when I had the pants made, they're made, I'm going to give you an example. Small, medium would fit a woman from size 1 to size 8, but the men's size would be 28 to 32. So
Okay. Yeah.
they're unisex, and I
Yeah.
had a seamstress figure out the sizing for the three sizes we have. So when you go out there, you would be able to see that. And I have my phone number available. I'm a small business, and I get a call, I can answer it directly and tell you whatever you need to know about the pants. So I had someone call me about a week and a half ago and asked me about my pants. And I was just curious. He was from a different state, and he asked me about the pants and told me that he's looked and he can't find anything that would take care of his needs in a hurry. And I'm anxious to hear back from him. And I told him I would like his feedback. The most feedback that I have regarding these pants is that people want them in color. And I purposely chose black and not colors because if there's an accident while they're
Yes.
out, that it can be
Yes.
seen. I
Yes.
also have a
Yeah.
patent. Well,
Like
I have a part of the patent was a blanket to go over the pants. So when you're out in public or in your car, you can actually relieve yourself. And the blanket is designed to hold the bottle for men or women.
that.
But they, 6
Genius
years,
again. Genius. Oh,
well, they fought
that's
with me so
amazing.
long on
Yeah.
that patent that I need to debrief a little bit before I go into another patent with that blanket. But I
Yeah.
do have that already filed, but I have to renegotiate the terms of that. And I needed to get my pants on the market. So they've only been on the market for about 7 months now. But I
Oh,
was really excited to get it out of the USPTO. They just said, "Okay, I'm done with you, lady. every time they would send something to me, I would send it back through the attorney, and we would
Yep.
fight. And all of a sudden, I had a letter that said, we dropped all claims. And I said, thank the Lord. And so we were able to move forward. So,
Like, amen, and let's move it along.
and move on.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Exactly.
awesome. Well, yeah, and again, I mean, to your point, like there's nothing on the market like this, like at all, you know. So yeah,
Correct.
super, super important. Okay. Okay. So that was cool. I love that. What about somebody asked what material is it and about how many washes and about how long and whatever, all the things ish. And I mean that's hard to know, obviously, but like will they last?
They will last. And here's a suggestion. So they're 20% rayon, 20% polyester, 60% cotton. They can be washed, and that's what the tag says. They can be washed in the machine. If you wash them in the machine, I would suggest a gentle cycle, and I would not pile a bunch of clothes in there. I would wash them and let them hang dry. And I find that the color lasts longer with that. When
Mm-hmm.
I had my sample pants with my dad, oh, he wore Halloween samples and all kind of samples, any kind of fabric sample I could get. But with the wash and wear, I think you have to be careful because you do have a drawstring on there. And the next run that I do of pants, I'm going to put a slide bar on it so that the the pants will not go through the insert of the middle panel. It won't come out. But I have some things that I'll do the next round. But for washing purposes, I say wash on a gentle cycle and let them hang dry. You can dry them in the dryer, but if you hang dry, I think that it keeps the form of the pants and the color better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, I like it. What about then in terms of because obviously there's not a ton of cotton in there, but there is some cotton. Will
Mhm.
it shrink, potentially? Like will they shrink or do people need to account for that aspect when they're ordering? Like if I would normally order a small, order medium. It doesn't seem like they would, but I don't know.
Well, so far I haven't seen the shrinkage, but even if it did shrink some, it would probably be more in the dryer and they're cold water wash. So, you would wash them. You can wash them in warm water too, but if they shrink at all, you still have a ton of fabric. They at the manufacturer tried to get me to reduce the amount of fabric that I have, and I would not. See this? See how they are stretching all the way
Mm-hmm.
out? So it's
Yep.
not likely this is a small and it
Oh
fits
wow.
somebody that's small. But
Yeah.
if even if it did shrink, it would not shrink to the point that they could not wear the pants.
Okay. Lovely. I like it. I like it. Okay. Yeah, that is super helpful because that was, yes, definitely a question for sure. One of the Before we conclude today's presentation, I want to take a moment to thank Angela for sharing her insights and innovation through Easy Pants. As we age, maintaining independence and dignity in everyday activities becomes increasingly important, as we all know. And the products like Angela Design, like Easy Pants, provide, designed accessibility in mind, which is absolutely fantastic because you can make a real meaningful difference in the lives of older adults and also caregivers alike when you can implement some of these types of products and some of these types of strategies into their daily caregiving, into their daily lives, which is amazing. So Angela's work really also reminds us, I think, that, just being able to implement just small changes, and it might not be something like huge that might think of. But like small changes again, like being able to wear the easy pants, and then also potentially then having like a little bottle in the car or a Ziploc bag in the car, or carrying again like a Ziploc bag is a very easy like discreet thing that you can easily, like fold up and put in a pocket or a purse or a backpack or the car, glove box, something where you can carry it with you to be able to then, utilize, like she was talking about, the combo of the easy pants and then being able to grab, that urine bottle or, like I said, a Ziploc or something like that, to be able to really like have somebody, urinate if they need to, etc., like on the go while they're out, out and about, if they're not at home, but also, maybe being able again to be able to have the, like the urine bottle available right there, bedside commode, or something like that. Super helpful. But, one of the things I think that is important, in talking about these kind of things, like, Angela's work is reminding us that, again, like those small changes just in design can have a huge impact on someone's quality of life, like, and really helping individuals to remain like active and confident, and engaged, as well, like in their communities and with their families and the activities that, they used to love. So as we continue our discussion on healthy aging, it's important to recognize that mobility and independence and the wellness, mentally, physically, etc., are really closely related. So anyway, we're just excited for you guys to be able to continue to learn from Angela, and the second part that we're going to have of this conversation. So please stay tuned and check that one out as well so we can continue learning more information from her. Thanks.